All righty, everyone. Hopefully, YouTube Live will stick with us for this entire episode. I know recently we've been hitting some technical difficulties where the stream just stops, even though I'm going in the live format here. Just one more reason why you ought to join us live in the Freedom Lab here every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. PST. I'm Jam at Peaceful Media, and yes, you are in the Freedom Lab. All right, so let's see if anybody is joining us here in the chat. Say what's up, say where you're coming from. I'm gonna say hello. And in today's episode, I'm gonna give you a primer on Facebook ads. And if you've been studying online marketing, maybe you're well surpassed my knowledge of Facebook ads. It wouldn't be real hard to do. It is such an in-depth, deep topic for marketing that usually you want to have a specialist. We'll get into that paradigm a little bit later as I start showing you behind the scenes of our Facebook ad campaigns. But I'll also walk you through, five major steps that one would want to take. 3 of which you'd want to do even if you aren't going to spend a dime with Facebook ads, just to get your situation set up so that when you're ready to go out and actually give Facebook money for leads and sales, then you're ready to do so, and you have some data from which you can pull to make smart decisions and give to a good solid data marketer like we have here at Peaceful Media to say, okay, so you have this data in front of you. What do you see? What are the trends? What can I leverage here for my paid campaigns? So we'll go through those 5 major steps. These are just kind of like, I mean, when I start showing you Facebook ads, you'll see like, oh, there's so much you can do. Anybody who says that they're not overwhelmed with Facebook, the Facebook advertising platform, with the potential and the demographic detail and all the whiz bang, ad types that you can use out there, if they say they aren't slightly overwhelmed by this, then they're lying. I mean, there's just, the sky is literally the limit here with, well, not literally, it is the proverbial non-limited sky situation. Okay, so if you're joining us live for the first time, or if you're joining us on a replay and you want to join us live, come on over to freedomlabshow.com. Register for free. We do this every week, every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. And this is your opportunity. We use a platform called Webinar Jam where you can get in here and interact with me, ask your questions, anything that's relevant to the campaign that we're launching here, and any of the topics that we bring up here in the Freedom Lab. And to kind of bring you up to speed, if you're just joining us, this whole season of the Freedom Lab is geared towards showing you the behind the scenes of how we're launching one of our products here at Peaceful Media, so that you kind of have a blueprint and a framework for how you can approach this. Maybe it's so that you actually follow along and do everything that we teach, and maybe it's you just getting an understanding of how the verbiage here, the language, the concept, so that when you go out and hire someone, a professional digital marketer or campaign setup person, your marketing tech stuff, you can at least have an intelligent conversation with that individual or that group and know what you're getting, put some value to everything that you're hiring out. Because as you'll see, there are definitely going to be boundaries that you want to set for, your areas of genius. If you're really good on camera and you're a good spokesperson and you're good at sales and you're good at, say, writing copy, then great. That's where you want to stick. That's your niche in your business. And then there are certain pieces, satellite talents, that you don't want to go and become a genius in, and you just hire those out. So you're going to find, I think that this, if nothing else, if none of the tactics or strategies we talk about for launching campaigns, if those aren't serving you, at least you'll have an understanding of, in the Freedom Lab context, you'll have an understanding of where your boundaries are going to be as an entrepreneur and an online business owner. Okay. So that's the spirit of the Freedom Lab. We're having a lot of fun. We are at episode 9 here. We're going to talk about the fundamentals. It's kind of a primer for setting up your Facebook ad campaigns. My video is doing something weird. If you're in the lab here, go ahead and send me a shout out so that I can see that we are indeed streaming. Cool. And we've already launched in a live format, in a timed urgency live-based product launch. We already accomplished that aspect. We did it on a pretty small scale. We didn't go out and spend thousands of dollars on Facebook ads or use JV partners or affiliates or anything like that. We just did it internally to our small wait list and a little bit of Facebook ads, but not much. And it converted really well. So the idea here is that over the last 2 or 3 episodes, we've been talking about what we learned from that, but also how we migrate and transition that to the evergreen campaign, so that anybody can come to our website, see a call to action to learn how to put together a professional marketing website and a thought leader marketing system, the basics, put that online. If they see that and go, oh, that's me, raise my hand, direct response marketing, that's me, I'm interested in doing that. And if you're telling me I can do it cheaply and quickly, all the better, So when someone sees that call to action, they can opt in and get more than 3 valuable training videos that I've put together, plus a 4th, plus some more that I've been plugging into our evergreen sequence. But you'll go through this entire journey, and it's sort of a sacred journey of learning and discovering what one can do now and how someone can go and accomplish that promised goal. That promised, I'm going to show you exactly how you can go out and get your website and marketing system dialed in and launched quickly and cheaply. So if someone's interested in that, they go through this, they may decide, yes, I want to do this, or they may decide to hire someone else to do it for them, or they may decide that, yes, I'm feeling pretty empowered here. I'm starting to get that marketing tech that you taught me. I'll go and do this myself. Any way it goes, I consider it a great situation. So we're adding more value and to the world and helping a lot of people. And certain people are going to raise their hand and say, I want your Sherpa hood. I want you to guide me all along this process. And that's where our course Launch 31 comes in. That's where I'm just on a daily basis showing you the action steps that you need to take, and you're looking over my shoulder. So that's that middle track. That's what the whole thing is geared towards. So I've been talking about that for the last 2 or 3 episodes, and now we're really close. My goal is by the next episode, if not this week, I've been working really hard on this, is to actually have this evergreen campaign set up and launched, and Facebook's driving traffic, and we're going out and finding great JV partners, and we're going out and really getting strategic on other ways we can drive traffic to that entry point of get the free training to understand how you can go and do this on your own, do this website, do this marketing stuff on your own with my Sherpa. So so this is why this week I brought in, because my goal is I want to get this done, I brought in John Randak, who's our in-house specialist in Facebook ads. We have 2, Cricket and John, and I worked with John a long time, and I love the way that he teaches. He came in and really helped me understand a few things that I was doing pretty wrong. One thing you should know as you get into Facebook ads is that Facebook can really take your money. Any advertising platform can really take your money if you don't know what you're doing. And I knew just enough to be dangerous. Like I could go up and set up my own campaigns and set up my own ads and set up my own audiences and conversion pixels and all this stuff. But I wasn't thinking about it the way that a data marketer really thinks about it. Because at the end of the day, a data marketer is responsible for creating a profitable campaign, not just getting opt-ins, but getting profit. And if there's certain steps you can take here to give a data marketer that data, or give yourself that data as you go and start doing this. So why don't I go ahead and give you some, give you behind the scenes here of our Facebook Ads Manager. That, by the way, that will be your first step. That's not one of the 5 steps, but that will be the first step that I didn't include. That's step 0 is go out and set up your Facebook Ads Manager so that you can see what I'm about to share with you. And if you're joining us live, I am watching the chat here. So all right, cool. So you're seeing this is a page that's going to be a little bit related in a second here. Let's start with Facebook ads. So here's in the side of our account, our Peaceful Media account. And the first thing, so now that you have this, step 0 is done. The first thing you're going to want to go do, and we talked about this briefly on a previous episode, but I just want to make sure that you have this because it is the most important step. You can't do anything else without this. You can't do it well, at least. Again, you can give Facebook a lot of money, but this is going to help you do it more profitably and give yourself a good set of data. So the first thing you're going to want to go do is get your pixel. And you're going to want to get your pixel, create. So I've already created the pixel, so I can see here is the ability to view the pixel. You'll go and get this script. I believe Facebook ads is going to remember when we initially set this up a couple of years ago. So it may be that it's just right here available to you. You're going to want to view this pixel code. And this is your tracking script. You're going to want to put this, you're going to email this to your web developer or just copy it. You're going to want to put this in your website. Now, if you're running on Squarespace, which is the platform on which I teach Launch 31, our website course, you can easily just put that right over here in your settings, advanced code injection. And you can see that I have my analytics script in there already. You would just paste this up in your header. Now, WordPress can be a little bit more complicated, but that's where you do this in Squarespace. Okay, I'm not going to save that because I don't want to track pixel. I don't want to track people over here for my Peaceful Media campaigns. But you get the idea. You want that up in your header. That way, you're basically Facebook is now able to listen to your site's traffic and match that to people's Facebook profiles. And beyond those Facebook profiles are hundreds of sets of data points that Facebook can use to start extrapolating demographic data about who's coming, who's taking action, who's buying, et cetera, which I'll get into in a second. But that's the first step. You're going to want to go set up, when I say set up, copy your pixel code, your pixel script, view pixel code, copy and paste that into the head section of your site. Look where they're putting it right here in the head section or header section of your website. Hopefully you're running a content management system so that whatever you put in the header of one page, it goes across the entire site. That's important. Can't just put it on one anyways, that's too techy. But yeah, if you're running a content management system like Squarespace or WordPress, you should be fine just putting it up in the head and it'll show up on every page across your site. Now, not every page is the same. You know, some pages that people hit have more value. They mean something different to your business than others. And that's step 3, which we'll get into in a second, the conversion tracking. Okay. Why don't we first jump over to step 2, though, the audiences. And this is where I was going. This is where I was being dangerous initially. When John showed me this, he really likes to he really gets granular. And what he's basically doing is setting up look-alike audiences. So, but first we're starting with people who've purchased and opted in. So you're going to see down here, I know if this is annoying, I'm going to zoom out for a second because the Facebook ad interface is a little bonkers. So basically, I've set up an audience for Launch 31 customers. And what that's doing is I'm telling Facebook to, if someone hits this page, which is the thank you page that someone would see after purchasing Launch 31, I want to create an audience around that. I want to see those people as a bucket of people, of audience members in my Facebook ads. And when I have that data, as that data starts to grow, Facebook can start teeing up some information about, hey, here's people who look just like those customers. Here's people that have matching data points. Maybe they didn't hit that thank you page yet, but they have matching data points. Here, go ahead and target the people who look like those customers. Now that's the ultimate conversion here, is that someone actually purchases, but there are so many little micro audiences that demonstrate someone's engagement with my material before they become a customer. So we created an audience for visited sales page. We created a visitor for someone who visited the opt-in page. And if you need a reference point for what I'm talking about here, you'd probably want to go back to episode 8 here and look at those. I was showing you those opt-in pages and sort of the high-level pages involved with our evergreen launch or evergreen campaign. But because this is why this is going to become really useful for you, even if you don't have a funnel or campaign going right now, is when you have that tracking script running on your site for a long time, you can also set up lookalike audiences for people who've come to your website. So if someone's visited our webpage or our website at all, we consider them a fairly good audience member. And what Facebook does is it allows you to say, how good of a lookalike do you want? How closely matched of a lookalike do you want? Because we can show you the top 1%, we can show you the top 3%, we can show you any percentage up to 10. So you can see as I'm selecting a wider net, 10% lookalike, that audience size becomes over 20 million, 20.7 million people are within this grouping. They look like a customer, but not really closely. They have some matching data points, but not all. All the way down to 1%, which is only about 2 million people. I'm sorry, for customers, that's 2 million. Yeah, and opted in is pretty closely the same. So 3% of opt-in lookalikes are 5.7, and so on. So, but at the very least, go ahead and set up, what you'll want to set up is an audience. You'll set up a custom or lookalike audience to match or look like the visitors to your website. Okay. If you have a key page, and that's why I wanted to bring this up. If you have a key page, such as a thank you page, let's go back over here. So in the demo, especially if you're going through our Launch 31 campaign, you remember me setting up this page as our thank you for subscribing, download your lead magnet page here. If someone hits this page, then that tells me, they are a more valuable audience member. In terms of my audiences over here, they are more valuable to me than someone who just randomly comes to my site. That's where these come in. I've designated, if someone hits this URL, that's where you're seeing this. If someone hits that URL for the opt-in, then I want to, I'm going to go ahead and show them, or I'm going to treat them differently in my ad campaigns. Does that make sense? In episode 8, I also talked about how each of those webinar episodes are on different pages. You remember a page like, you remember this? Each of these have different pages. I'm tracking. What I'm doing in Facebook ads is I'm setting up audiences for each of those. So again, if someone gets all the way through, has hit all of these, or gone through to session 4, then I really think that they're an engaged person, and I might treat them differently with my ad campaign. Okay, so that's the power of audiences. At the very least, go in and set up one that's a lookalike for people who've been to your website. You can only do that after you have that pixel set up. Okay, number 3 is setting up those conversions. And so what we're going to do is come over here. Initially, you might not see this panel over here. Just click all tools, and you'll see over here, custom conversions. Okay, so in order for me to track ROI, I'm going to need to know who I'm showing ads to has gone through and become a customer and become paid. This is slightly different than your audiences. Audiences are the people to whom I'm showing traffic. This is telling me that that ad or that ad set worked. Okay, so it's pretty much the same kind of concept. You're going to set up URL contains, add the URL that demonstrates that they've opted in, and then you can choose a category if you'd like. But yeah, you'd want to choose a category, lead or purchase. Okay, so I've set up one for become a customer, and then one for our opt-in. And there's some old ones right there too. Okay, so that's a third thing you would want to do. So whether or not, again, you have a campaign going, if you have anything that's a key page that you consider a conversion on your site, maybe that's they filled out a contact form, then and hit a thank you page, then you'd want to, or it visited the contact form or visited an event page, whatever your conversion is, you'd want to set those up, and it's really based on the URL that demonstrates that conversion. Okay, so that's kind of the cutoff for whether, if you have nothing to set up, that's kind of where I would stop, so that at least you're tracking this stuff. And then in the next two, these would be the last 2 steps that you would take to actually put out an ad campaign. So let's go to Ads Manager. The first one we want to do is set up an ad set. First one, you would create a campaign. Within campaigns, you'll see ad sets. So I'll pull this up real quickly. You're going to want to choose which one is most important to you. You can certainly promote your page and all this stuff, increase brand awareness, boost your posts, send people to your website. What I'm really interested in for this campaign is increasing conversions on your website. So I click that one, and naming the campaign would be important because website conversions probably isn't going to be useful to you if you have lots of different quote unquote website conversions or pages on your site that are considered conversion pages. So anyways, so name it appropriately, then you would continue, and this is where you're going to choose from your saved audiences. Remember, we already set up those saved audiences. So I got all these different audience types that you can see. I got all my lookalike audiences in here. Lookalike people who've opted in, 1%. And that's it. I'm only going to focus on one of my lookalikes for this entire campaign. Okay, and then I would go ahead and switch my genders and ages based on who I think is a good fit for my deal. And then for starters, I would pick one country so that you can start. Again, a good data marketer is going to be able to extrapolate, which countries are converting better. And if you're lumping them all together, if you're lumping Canada and Australia, other English-speaking countries in there, then a marketer is going to have a tough time, easily seeing, okay, this one is why this ad set worked better than this campaign worked better than this other campaign. Does that make sense? Let's see, coming down, automatic placements. Let's go ahead and the only thing I uncheck here in edit placements is the Instagram. And John was telling me he doesn't really have any data that suggests that that's our Instagram placements are actually working. So I uncheck that, but that's the only other one. That's the only one. I really, at the initial phases of all these Facebook ad campaigns, I'm like, give me as much data as possible. I'm paying Facebook. I'm paying Facebook to tell me what works. And it's better to just start out with very few assumptions, while also keeping your data clean. So very few assumptions in your first campaign. Then you can start trimming it down based on what's working. Daily budget. You can see that this is a very different experience than Boost Post. Boost Post is gratifying because yes, you start seeing like more likes and more views and more shares. Yes, but at the end of the day, like, what is, are you getting that to the right person? Is it converting? So I like this is definitely a more ninja level of Facebook advertising. And the deeper you get into this, the more profitable you're going to be. Okay, so ad set name, come all the way down here and save your ad set. Why don't I go back to see an example? I do not. Okay, so Facebook ad. I'm going to end up deleting that one because that's just a dummy one. But here's the one we got started here. This is our L31 DIY WW website workshop evergreen series lookalike audience test. And so inside this campaign, all we'll see is different ad sets geared towards different lookalike audiences. That's the way John recommends constructing these campaigns, structuring these campaigns for your first run at this. Then we can sweep through and try interest-based, where I can say, for instance, they like, I won't get political. They like Thanksgiving. They like Thanksgiving, so the page for Thanksgiving, or they have an interest in Thanksgiving. I only want to show these ads to people who've clicked that button on Facebook. Obviously, with if you didn't know, actually with interests, you can go as deep as like they buy premium beer. So there's some creepy data out there that Facebook's collecting about us. All right, so this is your ad set's going to show up here. And so you create your new ad set. And it looks very similar, right? And actually what I would do, because I already have this one, I would create a similar ad set. Oops. Create similar ad set. I need to do this anyways. So I'll show you what I got to do. I'm gonna start with that existing ad set. I believe I'm clicking the right button. Okay, I'm gonna delete this audience. And instead, I'm gonna go for my peacefulmedia.com 3%. Where'd they go? There they are. Lookalike US, I'm going to delete that one. Lookalike US 3%. Custom audiences. Nope, don't want that. Just my lookalike audience there. And I would change the ad set name. It'd be 3%. This is a copy. And we should be good to go. Save and continue. Everything else we'll keep as is. Remember, I told you I unchecked Instagram. Save and continue. Place order. Okay. And I want to make sure that I did not have something accidentally checked in here. I'm going to go and edit this existing ad set. Good. There's no other custom audiences in here. I only want to do that 1%, and hence its name. And work the conversion event, because we already set that up. I've chosen from my custom conversions this conversion event. This is what I want to optimize for. Facebook's going to watch for that conversion and start seeing, what's the common trend. Again, what's the trend line here with these people across all of these hundreds of data points, if not thousands of data points? What is the consistency? What is the trend? Okay, if Jason's told us we would need to optimize this campaign for conversions, and then it's in our best interest to get those conversions, let's tee up these ads to the correct people, or our best data-driven guess at it, right? So let's cancel that. So now I have 2 ad sets going, and what we'll be able to do is start seeing, if I come over here to my columns, my performance, is start seeing, all right, so 1%, what got, let's see, it has a click-through rate of 5% versus 3%. The 3% lookalike audience was only 2%. But interestingly, the results are, and the results will start showing up here, the conversion was $2 per conversion versus down here, $4. What's going on there? Okay, then you can start, and then a good data marketer will come down and start saying, okay, over time, we have enough data. A week's gone by, a couple weeks have gone by, we spent, $10, $25, $100 per day. We've got enough data. Let's go ahead and start trimming and pulling back what's not producing revenue. Now, in an evergreen campaign, my sales conversion is delayed. So because it's dripping out great value and content over time, it's going to be a sort of a 9 to 10 day sales conversion window. So this is exactly why you would want to have 14 days or so, 21 days, if whatever your budget can afford. Keep those running for a bit and start seeing over time, okay, as people go through this sequence, is this producing profit for us? All right. So we've those last 2 steps in this sequence of this, when you're ready to actually start paying Facebook for data and traffic and opt-ins and sales, is to set up your ad set, which is where you're going to designate the audience. Let's go back up here. These are the ad sets geared towards 2 different audiences. It's all within a campaign that's geared towards a lookalike audience test, right? So all these are going to be lookalike audiences that we'll plug in here, run those for 14 days, come back, and then maybe we'll try, after trimming this down, we'll come back and do a campaign around interest-based tests. Or I could even, you can get crazy granular with your campaigns. I won't go there, but that would be the next step. But so those last 2 steps, ad sets, and then within your ad set, you have an ad. Now, John's, this is where I was kind of going bonkers with my ads and probably not producing good ROI. I'm creative and I'm interested in, well, what creative, works best. So I would have like 5 or 6 different ads in here, if not a dozen. And what John wants to see is, because Facebook will distribute your ads differently, that can affect the performance comparison between these various ad sets. So what he recommends is, and I'm doing it, I'm sticking to it, is to only put in 1 ad in each ad set. Okay, so in my case, I am doing, I'm doing a video. This is mislabeled. So I'm gonna change that. This is not an image. I will go ahead and edit that. Before I start cloning this, I want to make sure that I have these things properly named. I initially had started with an image, and then I created a video ad and uploaded that right into Facebook's ad manager. and I'm going to test that one first. So we'll go lookalike audience test, then we'll go interest-based tests, and then we can start, once we have those audiences dialed in and we know which audience is converting, then we'll come through and start testing a bunch of different creative options. And Facebook gives you so many. It's pretty fun and wild. Okay, so let's switch back off of this screen share. Okay, so I know that was super. I should have put my nerdy glasses on, because that was pretty darn nerdy. But I hope it at least gives you a primer. My mind was blown by John, and allows you to just see like how deep this goes and what's possible. You may be adventurous enough to go and set up those latter two steps, but ideally start with those first three: the pixel setup, the audiences setup, the conversion setup, and then when you're ready to actually start paying and getting that traffic, then go ahead and set up your ad sets, and then within the ad set, one ad, so that you can actually start seeing some of the juice of Facebook ads, why all these internet marketers are raving about it, and see if it's a profitable machine for you. This is for a lot of people who are printing money with Facebook ads, but it's not for the faint of heart at all. So and if you're totally overwhelmed with this, but you need to do Facebook ads, please reach out to us. You can visit peacefulmedia.com/contact and just hit us up with a project inquiry. We'll tee you up with either Cricket or John, and hopefully we can set up some campaigns for you. And in the meantime, if you're just stumbling onto the Freedom Lab for the first time, come on over and join us live. I feel like there was an election day hangover here. I didn't see anybody in the live chat room here today, so kind of sad and lonely. So I hope you can come join me live for the next episode number 10, where I will, I'm going to show you, I'll probably have some results already. So I'll show you a little bit of the Facebook ads, and I'm also going to show you the delivery mechanism for our course in New Kajabi, so that you can get a good overview of where you might be able to set up your online university and start offering your courses, selling your courses, and delivering your courses. All right, so hope this episode is helpful for you. Go out there and do those first three things at the very least, and setting up those Facebook pixels, audiences, and conversions, and then we'll come back to actually paying Facebook and getting that traffic. Join us live in the Freedom Lab next time, freedomlabshow.com, and there's a Facebook group where I'm posting the replays just search for Freedom Lab Show. I'm Jam at Peaceful Media, and it's been a pleasure to be with you today. And remember to love more, play more, and do more good. Peace. I'm out.